Welcome to the ICD-10-CM, the International Classification of Diseases 10th Revision, Clinical Modification, is the standard manual used by healthcare providers to classify and code all medical diagnoses. Let's look at a specific patient scenario. Michael Landry, a 42-year-old male, presents with red, swollen gums that are painful to touch. Dr. Smith diagnoses Michael with acute gingivitis. To code this effectively, you need to prepare your workspace. Get your ICD-10-CM book, a highlighter, and a pen. Translating raw clinical notes into a precise alphanumeric code is how you turn a physical patient visit into a completed billable chart. This diagram displays the complete text. Step 1. Isolating actionable data. We must skip past localized symptoms like red, swollen gums that are painful to touch. Instead, we isolate the definitive diagnosis, acute gingivitis, non-plaque-induced. Gingivitis is our absolute main term. Establishing the definitive diagnosis over secondary symptoms is an absolute requirement to avoid cascading errors in your coding search process. Now we shift focus to navigating the front half of the manual. We will start in the alphabetic index, the alphabetical list of terms and their corresponding codes. Navigate to the G section. Locate your main term, gingivitis, flush against the left margin. We track the first clinical modifier by dropping to the first indentation level, acute. Dropping to the second level, we discover the subterm non-plaque-induced, pointing to our preliminary code, K05.01. Pay close attention to these vertical indentation lines. Misreading them and skipping a level can lead you to an entirely unrelated disease category. Keep in mind that the alphabetic index only provides a directional hypothesis. You must never use it as the final source for a billable code. This brings us to the strict cardinal rule of medical coding. All index findings must be cross-referenced in the back half of the manual. To do this, we use the tabular list. The tabular list is the chronological, alphanumerically ordered list of codes divided into chapters. We will navigate to Chapter 11, which contains diseases of the digestive system. This displays the tabular list layout. We isolate category K05 and verify that the definition for K05.01 matches our preliminary code, acute gingivitis, non-plaque-induced. The tabular list frequently introduces mandatory requirements. Based on acute clinical details, you may be instructed to add a 6th or 7th character to complete the code. For category K05 specifically, the rules force Vicoder to differentiate between conditions occurring with bleeding versus those occurring without bleeding. The tabular list acts as your ultimate failsafe. It forces you to reconcile the finest clinical details from the doctor's note against strict structural rules before you can finalize your work. This split-screen diagram cross-references the tabular rule against our specific evidence. On the left is the bleeding status requirement, and on the right, the physician's note confirms they are not bleeding. Because the clinical conditions perfectly match the tabular instructions without the need for additional modifiers, K05.01 is complete and correct as a 5-character code. To ensure accuracy on every chart, remember this mandatory sequence. Extract the definitive diagnosis, build your hypothesis in the index, and verify in the tabular list. Mastering this disciplined 2-step sequence guarantees clinical accuracy. When codes are precise, claims process smoothly, and the financial integrity of the medical practice is protected.